laps to go, stage 2. And I mentioned William Sawalich, and there you see his race car.
Huge impact for Mozak right there. You saw him get turned and slide up head on into the wall.
Dean Thompson.
Big hit for Thompson as well. It's such a horrible feeling when you're in Mozak's position there, when you get turned up in front of the field, up the racetrack. A little damage there for Connor Zilic as well. The right front sort of pushed in. They might be able to push that out at least off the tire. But your eyes went directly to it, Adam.
All right, we're down. You want me to come?
Here, the right front's down there for Connor Zilic. That 4 wide was so tight, and they weren't really in step. They were all sort of disjointed a little bit. That's usually an indication of where you're going to see some bumper tag, just like we saw here.
Daniel Dye's right behind Jeff Burton. It almost looks like Daniel Dye moved up a little bit, and Harrison Burton was there, and he didn't know it.
Leyland Honeyman, the 70 there. That was the one right there behind Jeff Burton. But yeah, you're right. It's exactly that. It's when you're sort of not following the same lanes.
Hey, look, Jesse Love, outside lane. Look how close this is. He had gotten shuffled out, and right there, he barely gets through. And, you know, Harrison Burton, who was involved in that first crash earlier today, they repaired the damage, and he, too, is able to avoid this.
So we get another look at it here. Yeah, you see the 70 there. Leyland Honeyman just gets tagged maybe there by Connor Mozak a little bit, but the hardest part is when those cars aren't perfectly lined up and you're overlapping each other a little bit. It just is very confusing and you get disjointed from the wheel. The spotter can't really tell you what's happening. You end up with a result like this.
6 cars involved as we work our way toward the end of stage 2. Under caution for a third time.
Out and just had fuel go everywhere. So the fueler's connected to the car right now. That's showing it, but you see that piece comes out. That's not from the car. That's from the fuel can itself.
That's the valve cap.
Yeah, the valve cap, exactly. It popped out, and that obviously meant all the fuel rushed out.
So lucky when he burned out right there. It hit a lug nut and ignite all that, because that was 5-6 gallons of fuel that ran out. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
Super scary.
But here's what I would say. You know, if you pit here, your thought process probably is you stay out at the end of the stage and you run till the end of the race.
Yep.
And so you want to make sure you get it full because you are stretching that fuel limit here as far as how much you put in the tank and what you have to run to the end of the event. So something to monitor with that 16 team and Christian Eckes as we head towards the checkered flag.
And that's a great point because his indication to take that out, as you saw, was sort of as the fuel starts to rush back up. But do you know if that can was really filling or not? So we'll have to see what they decide to do there in the 16.
We're showing 26 cars on the lead lap. 8 of those made pit stops. Allgaier is the race leader. Smith, Hill, Almirola, Quapple, the top 5. And when we come around this time, we'll do the choose. So we do the choose with 3 to go. We'll have a 2-lap shootout to end our second stage of the day. 2-lap shootout reminds me of overtime at the end of the race. So many times we go to overtime at Talladega. So what we're going to see here is a good preview for us and a good opportunity for the teams to get in their mind what to anticipate. Riding with Jesse Love, wheeling onboard camera. Pole sitter has led 19 laps today and 8th prior to the choose here.
You see that damage there from Jeff Burton ahead of him on the left rear. This is one of those races when you've had big wrecks like this. You have cars that are running around with different amounts of damage. One of the things you'll do when you're choosing here is choosing ahead of you, looking at who has damage. Do I want to push that car?
Can they have a good bumper or not?
Can they take a push? Am I going to get attached to that
the junk?
Yeah, the junk on the table, the bear bond on the back. Like, you're asking yourself all those questions, and there's so many unknowns as you go later in Super Speedway races like this that have massive crashes and you have so many damaged cars out there.
Allgaier, the control car, takes the outside lane. I'm wondering if this isn't a team thing, because if he slides down, you'd have 3 junior motorsports cars lined up in that low lane after we get back to the green flag. Eric Almirola up there in the top 5 as well, Dylan.
Yeah, and then we'll give you a quick Toyota driver update on the only Toyota car left in the field that still has a legitimate shot to win this race today, and that is Eric Almirola. You know, you guys talked earlier about maybe not thinking the RCR cars were quite as strong as they've been in years past. I think some of that is due to some of the gains of the other manufacturers in the engine department, namely the Joe Gibbs Racing Group. Spoke with Eric earlier today, and he was very, very complimentary of all the work that has gone on back at the shops in North Carolina to get these Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota engines up to snuff on these Super super speedways. That helped them in qualifying across the board, and obviously a faster engine helps you in the race too. So Almirola doing a nice job inside the top 5.
Almirola, the last driver to win here in a Ford, did it in 2017. Toyota hasn't won here since 2014. And if he wins it at Toyota today, he's going to have to do it with no drafting help from his partners. As Dylan said, just no other Toyotas out there.
Talk about the sun setting. It's obviously going to be blind right there in that section of the racetrack off turn 4.
Race to stop suicide onboard camera with Daniel Dye. He's shown 14th, and one of those drivers that just made a pit stop. Christian Eckes made a pit stop. We talked about the fueling problem there. It's 13th as we get ready for the restart. 2 to go, front row, Junior Motorsports. Control car outside is Allgaier, inside Sandy Smith. Quampel is there. They need stage points.